Yesterday, I attempted to download this open source project and to just run it, and it automatically failed. Okay. So, something about open source, like I've tried to do it multiple times, and every single time I just can't even take the first step. And so, I'm trying to find any way that I can take any step, no matter how small, and just try to make any progress. So, what thinking about doing today is just dig into one of these. Like, look at there's 10,000 folders here, and each one of those contains a whole bunch of other files. And so, I have no idea where to start. What I think I'm going to do is just pick a random folder, dig into it until I can find some semblance of code, and then see if I can understand that. So, new Netty, Groovy. Um, well, I mean, source might be actually a good one. Okay, fine. Guide or resources? Why not guide? I don't know. AOP, sure. AOP.adoc. Okay, is this code? What is this? There are cases. There are cases you want to introduce a new bean based on the presence of an annotation method. An example of this is the an runtime event annotation event listener annotation, which produces an implementation of API context event application listener. Okay. For example, the following snippet runs the logic contained within the method when the API context starts up. Event listener on startup. The presence of the and runtime event, which I'm not even sure what and runtime even means at this point, causes the Micronaut framework to create a new class that implements API context event. Okay. Adapter advice. Okay. So there's no code here. Appendix CLI Cloud. Sure. Client side load balancing. Okay, okay. This .adoc is more comments here. Well, what's cloud configuration? So, wait, service discovery, was that on the, okay. All of these are adocs, so there's no code here. Service discovery, is there any code in service discovery? No. Command line apps? No. So here's the first thing that we've seen that isn't like it's just a YAML file, but resources, Arch, and this is just pictures, okay? And we're done with source. Okay, so maybe there's no code in source. Do I see anything .java? I'm not seeing any. Okay. Inject Java. Let's just come here. Source, main. Now this is kind of following that path. Remember when we were doing our projects in Java, it was source, main, Java, and then we would have our class, right? Here we go. We found some code. Okay. 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 We found something. So let me. Oh, whoa. Okay, hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay, we found something. What do we want to click on? Let's just click on the first one up here. Abstract, inject, annotation. Okay, so we found some real code. Here we go. Okay. So now let's move this over a little bit. And should we start to just look at the functions maybe? Maybe. Okay. Copyright stuff. So what I'm trying to do right now is just, I guess even just look at the project, kind of understand the feel of it, just get any information that I can out of it, try to understand something. Maybe also, if I'm able to, understand how the different components are connected together. Like we have so many files, and I'm like, okay, well, how is this being used? So abstract class. Oh, well, congratulations. We have a new thing to learn. Abstract class. So this is the class name, and it extends, so it inherits from this. Okay. And these are what, like Swagger documentation stuff? I don't know. Okay. Protected static. I don't know what protected means, and I don't know what abstract means, so we're going to search that in ChatGPT. Static. Is this the same static which is in C? Meaning it is continually, or it's not destroyed on exit of the function. Final, I'm guessing, means it doesn't change. It's like const. And it's a string. Okay? Is equal to this. Annotation processor options used to activate incremental processing. Okay. Annotation processor options used to add additional annotation patterns to process. So we have the same thing, like protected static final string, this, and then Micronaut processing annotations. Okay, and this is incremental. Okay, so we're just building a string. Okay. Protected messenger. So now messenger must be a class somewhere else, right? Okay, Java X annotation processing messenger. A messenger provides. Is this like a. So this comes from one of these imports. I want to know what Java X is. So IO, Micronaut, annotation, processing. This should be in our file. Is that correct? IO, Micronaut. Micronaut here. Or IO, Micronaut, annotation. Okay. Processing. Let's open that up a little. Processing. There we go. Okay. Visitor. So now we're going to go to visitor. Processing. Oh, visitor. Okay, sorry. Java visitor context. Okay, J, Java annotation, Java. Visitor, Java visitor context. What? That's not here. Okay. IO Micronaut. Annotation processing. Okay. Visitor. I thought that this was already expand. Oh, okay. I thought that when I saw this, I thought that it was expanded. I didn't see that. Okay. Okay. Now we do Java visitor context. Let's see. J. Java visitor. Come on, just be here. Got it. I got it. Okay, okay, okay. Let's do this. Java visitor context. Go. Okay. So now we have this, and this is like a class, right? And we should have like messenger. I'm thinking, hopefully. Okay, so internal, I don't know what that does. That's something I need to look at. Deprecated, I don't know what that does. I need to look at that. Params, I think that this is Swagger, so that's fine. Where is my messenger? Okay, okay, okay. Come on. Control F. Okay, well. Oh, right. Never mind. I was looking at this one, but then I got kind of sidetracked that this is in our actual folder or in our actual project right here. And then the Java X, this is probably coming from a third-party library. So it's not going to have messenger. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I thought that messenger was going to be defined in here because I kind of mixed those two things together. Okay, let's get rid of this. There we go. Okay. So we have a messenger. Protected filter is going to be from this. Okay. Types, utils, mutable, convertible values, okay? Object, visitor attributes equals new, okay? And this comes from our project. So we should be able to go here, right? Should be able to do go to definition, okay? And now this is in our project. See, here we go. So this is the constructor. So the default constructor, public class. Okay. So let's start talking to ChatGPT to try to understand this. Can you explain every line of code? All right, so we're just going to have it explain every line of code. Is it done? Okay, cool. And then while it's explaining, or while we're reading the explanation, I will be typing my questions here. So imports JavaX, number one. So what is JavaX and Java in the context of imports? Where are they? Okay. Question number two. Class declaration. Okay, so this defines an abstract class that extends here, the base class for annotation processors. It's meant to be subclassed by concrete processors that handle specific annotations. Awesome. I don't know what any of that means, and I'm not joking when I say awesome. The reason that I said awesome is because that means that I just happened upon a wealth of new information. So, what does abstract mean? Okay, I'm gonna say abstract base class subclassed concrete processors annotation processors. Okay. All right, static. Okay, so these strings are used to configure how annotation processing behaves. Example, incremental builds annotation patterns. Okay, what does protected mean? Protected, static, and final mean. Okay. So we have more protected, but we already asked that question. These fields are initialized by the compiler when processor starts. Okay. Number 4, this. Which processor are we talking about? Is it my local MacBook? Okay. So these are Micronaut specific classes to manage metadata and output during annotation processing. Okay. State management, protected map, string object, postpone types equals new linked hash map here. I might need to go into that in a little bit more detail to figure out what's happening there, but I'm going to skip it for now. Private boolean incremental equals false. Okay, that's straightforward. Private final. Okay, we're going to figure out what that means later. Set. So is this the name of it? Set string? What is set and oh, is this a data structure? Like the set data structure. And this is a map data structure, like a I don't know, hash map or I don't know. Okay. And then what, this is like a list? What are map and set in this context, and what do the angle brackets do? I think it's creating like an array, but there's two elements in there, so that's kind of throwing me off. Is processed is new, hash map 30, okay. These fields track whether incremental processing is enabled, which annotations are supported. Okay, helper method. So, let me just come here. And protected final Boolean, processing generated annotation. Set with like a question mark in it. Extends. Oh. This method checks if the processor is currently handled in the generated annotation. Generated class.getName equals size equals 1. Okay. What do the passed in parameters mean? Okay, so let's just go. While it's doing its thing, I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. All right. What is JavaX and Java in the context of imports? Where are they? So Java, anything. These are core Java packages, part of the standard Java development kit. So JDK. Oh, yep, there it is, JDK. Example: Java utils, Java IO, Java lang. Okay. JavaX originally stood for Java Extension. These were optional packages that later became standard. Examples: JavaX annotation. Okay, so they're part of the Java language. It's kind of like whatever. My mind is blanking, but the normal hashtag includes that you have to put at the start of every sentence if you want to use those basic things like std lib or whatever. Okay. What do abstract, base class, subclass, concrete processors, annotation mean? Okay, so abstract class. A class that cannot be instantiated directly. It may contain abstract methods, no implementation, that must be defined by subclasses. Okay. Base class. A general purpose class meant to be extended. It provides shared functionality. Subclass. When another class extends the base class to add or overwrite behavior. Okay. Concrete class. A class that can be instantiated. It provides full implementation of all required methods. Okay, so abstract class, I'm thinking that what that means is I can't instantiate that actual class. All I can do is instantiate a concrete class and then extend, so inherit from that abstract class. Okay. Annotation processor. A special Java class that runs at compile time to inspect and act on annotations, like inject and generated. It can generate code, validate usage, or modify behavior. Sure, maybe? I don't know. Annotation processor. So I know about annotations, and I know that they have something to do with like beans. And okay. Okay, so to inspect and act on annotations like inject, generated. It can generate code, validate usage, or modify behavior. So I think it just means like when it's compiled, it will. Okay, what do protected, static, and final mean? Protected, the field or method is accessible within the same package and by subclasses. Okay? Static belongs to the class, not to the instance. Shared across all objects of that class. Okay, that actually is different than C, because C doesn't have classes. So static apparently means that this variable is common across all classes or all objects that instantiate that specific class. So if I have 20 car objects, the radio channel might be the exact same thing across all of them. Something like that. I don't know. Final, for variables that cannot be reassigned, for methods that cannot be overwritten, for classes that cannot be subclassed. Okay. These are fields. Okay, so is it talking about the local MacBook? Okay, so these fields are initialized by the compiler when the processor starts. Which processor are we talking about? Is it my MacBook? Yes, but more precisely, the Java compiler, Java C. Okay, that's Java C right there. Running on my MacBook is the processor here. When you run a build Gradle check, which failed, by the way, okay, the compiler loads your annotation processor and injects these fields, messenger, filter, etc., so it can be interacted with at compile time. Okay. Map string object and set string. What are map and set, and what do the angle brackets do? Map key value. A collection of key value pairs means keys are string. So we have the key is of type string. Values can be any object, okay? Set E, the collection of unique elements. Okay. A set of unique strings. Okay, that makes sense now. Angle brackets are called generics. They specify the type of elements the collection holds, giving you type safety and avoiding casting. Okay, makes sense. So, here, what do the parameters mean? Set, ... a collection of annotation types being processed. Okay. Oh, yep. That makes sense. The ... is like the type. So we're doing set, and now this is the data type, which like up here we had string and object, or string down here. So this is just an object type. Okay. So what does this mean? That's the question here. A wildcard generic. It means any type that is subclassed of type element. Okay, so anything that comes from type element represents a class or interface in the source code. So this method checks if only annotations being processed is generated. Okay. So, protected means this is available to this namespace, right? Which would be here. Okay. Final means it can't be reassigned. The function can't be reassigned, right? What did it say for methods, actually? Cannot be overwritten, okay? So I can't change this here. This is can't be overwritten, okay? And I'm gonna pass in something. What am I passing in? I'm passing in a set. And what type is it? It is of any type that is subclassed of type element. Okay? And it's called annotation. So now I return if annotation is size is equal to 1. If this is false, I return false. If this is false, I also return false. So I only return true if both are true. Okay? Processing generated annotation. So what's the second part? Generated, which is from what? Is from this in our project dot class dot get name, okay, equals annotation iterator next get qualified name to string. Okay, so this, the annotation that's passed in. So generated class name. Okay. So now override, we're overriding something here, which I'm guessing would be found in here, abstract processor. But now we're saying, no, actually I want something else. Public source version here. Source version, latest version, source version dot latest. Okay, we're storing that here. Okay. Return the incremental processor type. Return non-null, private here. The list of patterns that represent the processed annotation types. All right, what I think I'm going to do is I will take a little bit of a break. I feel like we did make progress here and we were able to at least we got to code and we have something to kind of look at. So in my next video, I am going to essentially just continue what I'm doing here, is just looking through this. I don't really know what I'm doing, but just trying to gain as much knowledge as I can, trying to fit stuff together, and we'll see what happens. So if that's interesting and if you want to follow along with this journey, subscribe. I would love to have you here. My name is Timothy Lee Grant. I will see you guys very soon.